Alrighty, hey guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Baby's first Bravo. This is the first Bravo build I've ever had. I've never played Bravo, but I like that CC's coming up. We're getting a lot of CC play coming in. We've got a bunch of Classic Constructed events coming up, so I wanted to go ahead and give my hands a try at Bravo Showstopper for Classic Constructed. So, we're going to go ahead and just walk through this card by card. This is the build I played today. I am making edits today based off my results, which, if you care to know, 0-2. It was a 4-round event, but I scrubbed out, and I did some casting with AJ over at Adventure Co Gaming. So if you haven't checked them out yet, this is going to be a pre-video shout out to Adventure Co Gaming. He streams the Collectives games, their Armory events, every Sunday now. So if you want to watch some really good gameplay and listen to some really good commentating from AJ and the crew over at Adventure Co Gaming, go ahead and just click them. I'm going to put a link to their YouTube and their Twitch in the description, so go ahead and click that. Check them out. Like I said, a lot of good gameplay, and they're going to be grinding out content every Sunday, at least, possibly more. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the equipment. I got a Nothos. I like a Nothos. It's an interesting card because you get that +2 and you can attack for 3. I got it off quite a few times, but also there were quite a few times where I had to defend a lot on a turn and just didn't have much. So I was swinging 3 for 4 when possibly I would have had 4 to swing with. Sledge of Anvilheim, which, if you don't know, Sledge of Anvilheim is just a weapon that is 4 to attack for 6. So I think I might actually try out Sledge next time. I'm not 100% convinced on that though, because that 4 is a pretty it feels like a big jump in paying for the attack. Arcanite Skullcap, I didn't play at all today. I think I'm only playing Arcanite when I'm up against Wizard, just for that extra Arcane Barrier, because in Bravo it's easy to pay that 3. And you just, you try to keep yourself like 1 life below your opponent just to keep getting that Arcane Barrier 3 on top of the other Null Rune that you'd be playing. Goliath Gauntlet, obviously it's a solid play. You could play Crater Fist here, but I think Goliath Gauntlet is just better. You lose that defense, which I think is, kind of sucks, but the ability to pop Goliath Gauntlet on literally any attack, essentially in this deck is a lot better, in my opinion. Helm of Isen's Peak, I use this a ton today. This was my headpiece that I used today. This is what almost won me all of my games. This is a really good piece that gets you tempo, gets you momentum. You can either pop it early game to try to build momentum really quick, or if you're on the back foot on one turn where you've just got kind of nothing to do, and you're thinking, I could tech plating and hope I get a better turn next turn. You can also just be like, hey, instead of tech plating, I'm going to pitch to Helm, have 5 cards, and then just have a better turn. Iron Rot Legs here. I think I'm going to switch these out for Iron Hide, the new Monarch pieces. You do have to pitch to block, but they block for 2, and I think that is not strictly better, but I think it might be better, especially in this deck where pitching to block, pitching isn't that bad. Null Rune Boots, Null Rune Gloves, strictly there for Wizard and theoretically a Chain matchup or a Viserai matchup. I didn't have either of those today. I actually only played mirror matches today. Each game was a slog, man. The Bravo mirror match is long. And tech plating, obviously, because I'm not insane. What is insane here is, I'm just going to quickly scroll through this. You didn't see a single Command and Conquer. Yes, I will admit it right now. I am a dummy, and I forgot to put Command and Conquer in here. I went and built this deck very early in the morning this morning. I got off work, and I was home by like 1:30-ish, hung out with my wife and my brother-in-law for a little bit, and then built this deck at like 2 a.m. So I was pretty tired. It was actually more like 2:30, really. So I missed out on CNC, which is clearly a mistake. So obviously, automatically, we're taking out 3 cards to make room for CNC. But let's talk about the cards that were in the deck. Crippling Crush, because it's just good. If you can tech plating, it's just 2 blues for an attack for 11. And in Bravo, 2 blues aren't hard to come by. So you can see my pitch costs over here. So I've got 29 pitch 3s. I am taking out a lot of reds. Or I need to take out some reds. I need to put in more blues. I realized that today. I thought 29 was good. I had an even break of blues and reds, and like the yellows in the middle would kind of help me out. No. I need to definitely have much higher pitch. So I'm definitely going to be slotting in a lot of blues there. So Crippling Crush, auto include. Crush Confidence, I think, is amazing. 3 for 7 is a really good deal. If you want to think about it, Crush Confidence compared to Crippling Crush, obviously Crippling Crush's crush effect is much better, but just in a raw attack form, you're paying an extra 3 to 4 for an extra 4 attack. So the translation there on the actual attack damage is not very great. Obviously, I would much prefer my opponent discarding 2 cards than I would having them lose all hero card effects. But Crush Confidence is really good when you're going up against Levia, because if you do that, she cannot stop the Blood Debt from coming in. So if that's a late game play and you can crush Levia with Crush Confidence, that's a game ender. It works really well against Chain. It works really well against a few other heroes. Obviously, it's a pretty solid card. I don't doubt Crush Confidence being in there at all. I might actually put the blues in there too, just to possibly like swing in, give it Dominate, or swing in, buff it. That kind of thing to get that crush through in the matchups that it matters. Also, it's just a cheap attack, so even if I block some with my hand, I can still play it next turn, because all I need is a blue and a Crush Confidence, and I'm attacking for 7. Emerging Dominance, I actually misread this card when I first put it in. I thought it was a same turn, because I don't know, I was tired. I'm just going to keep blaming it on tired, man. I was like, oh yeah, you play it and then you play an attack and it gets +1 or +3 plus Dominate, wow. And then I played it in my first round. I was like, yeah, and that makes this a 9. And he was like, no, it's next turn. And I was like, oh, I cannot believe I did not read that card like at all, I guess. But it's still an amazing card. It does telegraph your next play, but there's not too much your opponent can do about a Dominate attack, especially if you're playing the red emerging. It's +3. So that essentially negates any regular card in their hand. Now, they could have a defense reaction, and especially in the mirror match, it's pretty likely that they will. But I think in any other matchup, it's just a good play. I've got E-Strike in there as one of my only cards that I don't need to have a bunch of blues to play. I think 5 is a really nice threatening attack, and honestly, if I don't think I have card disadvantage, I'll take the +2 and just make it a 7. 7 for just putting another card at the bottom, I've got a red and an E-Strike. I'm just going to put the red at the bottom and E-Strike for 7, Obviously, Pummel, full suite. Everybody knows that. It's a phenomenal card. It's amazing in this matchup because if you are playing an attack action, you can always just use that discard. Discard is so brutal because they're going to block it, and then you're going to be like, and discard a card still. Because it just has to hit. It doesn't have to, it's not a crush effect. It just has to hit for 1. So even if they block it out, but they don't overblock, you're just like Pummel +2, you discard a card. So I know you just blocked with 2 because I E-striked you for well, not E-strike, but I crushed, Crush Confidence for 7 and you blocked 8, but Pummel for 2, discard a card. Sink Below, I think I'm going to up that. Sink Below really helped me out today. I really want to have a high defense reaction deck. I want to be blocking every turn until late game and then come in for 11. That's kind of my strategy going for this. I think it's the strategy of most Bravo decks. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. So if you're playing Bravo and you've got a different strategy, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Tell me how you work it, man, because I didn't do too hot today. So I'm definitely down for advice. You're playing a suite of red and blue slogisms. They're amazing. What can I say? You do telegraph your next attack's going to be big, but by then it's, whatever. It's already too late. They know you're coming in. Staunch Responses, obviously, these saved me against a lot of dominated attacks today, so I'm definitely keeping all those in. Spinal Crush is a really good attack. 5 for 9 is solid, and if you're playing against Ninja or a Chain that likes to go wide, this means that action cards, activated abilities, and attacks can't gain Go Again. It doesn't stop things from going again, but they cannot gain it. So like Chain, shut down. Anything that doesn't already have Go Again printed on the card, shut down, which is really good in some matchups. Warmonger's Recital, I have in there. I'm a little on the fence about it, but I do really like the 1 for +3, and it goes to the bottom, because if I can play that on something like a Crippling Crush or a Crush Confidence, I can just have that again late game. So I can play a big attack now and later. But we are in Classic Constructed. You do have 3 copies of card, so it's not as insane. And also in these CC games, I didn't really have a game where I was alive long enough to reach the very, very bottom of my deck. So I might take that out if that continues to underperform. I didn't get to play it today. It just never came to my hand at the right time. But I think if I had, it would have been really good, especially on a Dominate attack. Speaking of Dominate attacks, Regurgitating Slog. I'm playing the Slogisms. I thought I'd throw it in there. It's not that great of a card in blue, but I think as a pitch, it's really good. And if I keep pitching it the whole game, I will have it late game. And if all they have are 3 blocks in their hands, boom, that could be my final damage because it gets dominate because Slogism. Righteous Cleansing, what can I say? It's a phenomenal card. If it crushes, you get to look at the top 5 and then banish all of the cards with the same name. So even if you only get 1 off on that, if it's a key card, it's a good turn. What can I say? And a 10 attack is always welcome in a Bravo deck. So here's I think my biggest mistake here is being naive and thinking I could ever play a red or yellow Towering Titan. Now, it is just as hard to play a red Towering Titan as a blue Towering Titan, but it doesn't matter that they're there because the benefits of being red versus blue are negligible, and having all that red in there often is just a detriment because when you draw that red and you don't have 3 other blues, you're defending with it. You're pitching it to tech plating. Like, it does not feel good. So I'm definitely taking those out. The red and the yellows are immediately out. I'm going to replace the reds with CNCs, clearly, because that just should have been in there. I cannot believe I didn't do that. Then you got Showtime here. Showtime, phenomenal card. I actually underestimated this card. At first I looked at it, I only put 2 in there. But that was a foolish mistake. When it enters, you search for the Guardian attack, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. But also, the next turn, at the beginning of your action phase, you destroy it and draw a card. So it's kind of like getting that intelligence bonus. I think Guardian's really good at getting extra cards in hand if you can pull off these cards. And I think those kind of things are really sway a game in your favor. They definitely helped me while I was playing. Stamp Authority, I almost got this card off, but I didn't because I realized that one of the 2 cards that I wanted to have in my pitch zone was Stamp Authority itself, but I almost played it, and I was like, oh wait, I had to immediately scoop my hand back up. I still had a pretty good turn otherwise, but I think even if you're just playing it for that +1 benefit, that is, I think, worth it. Because you're wiping your hand of a few blues or, a few strong things to get them back later. And also power up your next turn with that hand advantage, being able to block out something completely and then still come in for 10 or 9 or whatever. Surging Militia is one of the last cards in this deck list. I think it's bad. I'm taking it out. I was really thinking of it from the perspective of, I've blocked everything out late game, and then you've already used your equipment because I've attacked you a few times, and then I plop this down, and you're at 2 life, and you're like, I can defend with 2 3s. That's all I've got left in my hand. And then I sweep your hand because you had to put both of them down because it would have +2 and it'd be a 5. But if all you had was a 3 left, I just kill. I move in for the kill. Unmovable is a solid play. I think it's a good defense reaction. I didn't ever get a chance to use Unmovable from Arsenal, except for once. I got it once from Arsenal, but other than that, 3 for a 5. It's overcost compared to Staunch Response, because Staunch Response you can still do 5 for 2. Or 5 plus for 2, really. But I guess this is the same way. It's 5 plus for 3. So it doesn't feel as good, but I think it's still a solid defense reaction, and it stops some really big attacks. Or it can just fully block out a 4, even if they have like a small buff to it. So that's Baby's first Bravo. Tell me if you think any of these cards are bad. Just tell me, like, hey, I think you should also switch out that, and maybe we'll try that out for next week's. I am definitely open to some constructive criticism, but I am definitely taking out those Towering Titans and Surging Militias. And, Warmonger's Recital is near the chopping block, but I don't quite know if it is 100% on the chopping block, because I still think I think it has potential. I think getting +3 and going to the bottom of your deck is pretty solid, especially only for 1. I think the cost is really what makes it. If this was a 2 or a 3 up here in that corner, I think I would not play this at all. Honestly, if it was a 2, I just wouldn't play it. 2 for 3 and going to the bottom of the deck is just a bonus. It's the 1 for 3 that I really care about here, because if I can get a dominated 7 +3 going and dominate 10, that's amazing. Dominate 7 is already good, but dominate 10, even if they have a staunch response, they can't do anything about that. There's no staunch response that goes all the way to 10. So drop your comments in the comments section. Check out Adventure Co Gaming on YouTube and Twitch, and I will see you guys next week for V2, and we'll see how we did. Thanks, guys. May the pulls be with you.